Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? I have gone and got the hay turner, the tedder as some of you call it, and we have come back up to our field at the top here. We're going to go and turn all of the grass in there so that we can make some hay. And I've been thinking, I know that we've bought the big baler and the artisan, so they're all ready to use, and we will be using those, but I was thinking that we wouldn't use them just for this first field. Our first bit of baling here in New Zealand. I think that what we'll do is we will use the small Welga baler, mainly because there is a new trailer. We know we've got the auto load trailer from TSM Modding that is available to use. He has got, I think it's that one there, the transport runner. It will do small bales, big bales, standard square bales, round bales of two different sizes, pallets, big pallets. It does all sorts. Okay, it's the recently updated one. Absolutely fantastic trailer. We've used it just this week gone in what do you call it, in Goldcrest Valley. That's the word I'm looking for. So yeah, we used it in Goldcrest Valley. We sort of seen how it worked. It looks absolutely fantastic. A couple of people were asking before why the bales, because the one that Rich17 modded privately for us, the bales were interlocking on it. This one they're not. The reason is if you have the bales interlocking, you can't have too many trailers together. If you don't have the bales interlocking, you don't need to reduce the number of straps on it, and also you can have more bales together. There's major issues with lag if you have all the bales interlocking, and that's what they found. So they've dealt with that. TSM Modding, working with the script writers for the UAL, the Universal Autoload, have dealt with that, so that's why they just stack one on top of the other, and that is absolutely fantastic as far as I'm concerned, because it reduces lag. It means that we can use more trailers. And I did see something a little, was it last week, someone saying they've actually marked his thing down on the mod hub. So anyway, I'll get to that. This bit here is a shorter trailer, it's a smaller trailer, so I thought we would gather up small bales with this one. We'll probably just lease the equipment and then we can return it afterwards. It will be the only small bales we do, unless I really get a lot of people asking me to do small bales again on this map. So yeah, I did see a thing on, I don't know if it was a forum or a Facebook group or something. I did see it somewhere there. People saying that they actually marked his mod down and only didn't give it a full 5 stars because the bales don't interlock. Please don't do that just based on the bales not interlocking. Obviously, I'm not. You can grade your all the mods on there however you like, but I would ask for you not to grade them down like that because of the interlocking thing. It's been done that way so that you can enjoy the item better and not have so many issues with it. So it's actually been done as sort of a bonus for you, and it will help your control of the machine so much better. Now this, oh, we've got this one. I was wondering what those, if it had like anything in particular extra for it. So what we can do is, while we go around the outside of the field here, I will show you. Let's start this one up. No, I don't want to fold it. And put it back like that. Right, let's turn it on. We can start making some hay. We've got that great big lot there to do. But what you do is, if you turn the wheels all to one side, it pulls the turner out and sort of slants it like that, so that as you go along the side of the field, it's directing everything away from the hedge. Now, I'm pretty sure it's this one that's just been updated for FS17. I use this in Melbury Estate in FS15, and we were doing the same thing. Absolutely fantastic. I love the fact that we can do this, and we can go around the outside of the field, because always when you're doing hay, the first time that you go around the outside of the field, you can often get into, well, it's not trouble so much, it's an absolute nuisance, because when you've got the older turners, they just kind of, they chuck it straight out behind you, but they also spread it slightly, so as you go around the outside edge of the field, you invariably get some of it sort of being flicked into the hedge. Unless you go slow or you've got an angled one. And going slow is not necessarily the best way to do it, because it doesn't fluff it all up enough. So yeah, there's always sort of a thing with doing hay, is that outside round in the field. I know some of you in like the States and that, in different areas and places that you've got massive, great big open fields without lots of hedgerows and overhanging trees and stuff, this isn't an issue. It's never something that's ever going to come up. And I know that in places in the States, when you do your haymaking, you mow it and then you row it up and you bale it. You don't even need to do this whole turning it once or twice a day for 3 days in order to dry the stuff out. It just dries. You've got so much heat and lack of moisture in the air down there. Same with a lot of places in Australia. You get to do exactly the same thing, but we don't get to do that in the UK, and I'm pretty sure they don't get to do that in New Zealand either. So this is how we got to do it, and this is the best way to do it, in that you can sort of deflect it away from the edges of your field. Let me just come up here and get that last little bit there. So that is all turned now. And now I can straighten the wheels up, I hope. And we want to just get this little bit here. This is... We need to go slow on this. Is what we chucked out the back of the forager, the forage wagon. And if we just sort of do a little bit here, we can do the other bit on the next pass. There we go. Right, now we've got to get these wheels straight. And it's not easy. There, that's pretty straight. That's pretty good. I like that. So, yeah. Always a bit of an issue in the UK. And what a lot of farmers do is they will mow 2 stripes around the outside of the field and bale that up as baled silage. Bale it up into round bales, and yes, I am backing up. I do this frequently when I'm turning... I used to do this frequently when I was turning hay. If you've got a trailed one, it's better than picking it up. It does sort of push the hay up a little bit into a bit of a bunch, but you don't do it too much, and then you go over it again, you kick it out again. It's better than driving over the hay that has been turned without turning it again, because that squashes it down into the grass, onto the field, and doesn't allow the air to circulate through the fluffed up grass, and so limits the amount of drying that it can do. This is fantastic. A beautiful blue sky, sun is shining, we've got the hay being turned. And on a day like this, I would not have all the windows closed with the air conditioning on. I'd probably have both the doors wide open, all the windows wide open, with the breeze coming in through the tractor. Unless, of course, it was a dead calm, in which case I'd probably give up and put the air conditioning back on. But I used to love... I love the smell of the hay. The smell of the cut grass being turned into hay is just such a wonderful fragrance. And, yeah, it's always... I always used to try to have the windows open, although to be fair, most of the tractors that I did turning in, yeah, air conditioning was way down the list of things that you didn't have. You didn't have things like light bulbs and working windscreen wipers and stuff like that. So yeah, you certainly didn't have anything like working air conditioning. You didn't even have tractors that were equipped with air conditioning. It was just old classic tractors, and if you shut the doors and the windows, you would bake. Literally. You would just stew in your own juices and leave it a couple of hours and you'd probably be done to a turn. So yeah, anyway, my question I asked you all last week was, which truck would you like me to get? And I'll tell you what, I told you about it last week while I was doing Gold Crest Valley. I have got a bit of a sore throat and a cold. I'm still being plagued by a sore throat, so I'm just going to have to take a break for a couple of minutes so that I could come back and talk again without having to keep stopping. Okay, that's a bit better. I've just taken another swig of my medicine I got that soothes my throat. It's really good. It's excellent stuff. That cough lincture I was telling you about. Is it? Yeah, lincture. So yeah, when you're turning, if you've got a trailed turner, you need to sort of just turn like that. You go around in a circle, that way you're not actually driving over anything. If you've got one that you can lift in the air, you can actually stop, lift it up, back around, put it down again. And if you just do a small tight turn, you can actually make sure that you go over any wheel tracks so that you don't leave the crop squashed into the field. It's always very important to make sure that you don't leave the crop squashed into the field. So anyway, My question that I asked you all last week was, which truck would you like me to get? There were 4 trucks on offer, and let me just turn around here, and then we will pause a moment and we will take a look. Right, let's just stop right there. And yes, we have, here's our trucks. And I asked you, did you want me to get the standard in-game MAN 18480? Did you want me to get the modded MAN 184 series, which has got a few options on it? Did you want me to get the Lizard SX310 Twin Star, or did you want me to get Tatra Phoenix 6x6? We had 3,013 people answer this question, and this has got to be one of the closest votes I have ever seen. We had 262 people wanted this one. We had 381 people wanted this one. And this is where it gets interesting, ladies and gentlemen. We had 1,181 people ask for the standard in-game MAN 18480. 1,181, okay? This one here, we had 1,189 people ask for this particular one here, the MAN TGS 184 series modded one. Literally 8 votes in it, right? There's nearly 1,200 votes on each one, and there was 8 votes in it. So if you, this highlights something I've always said. You should always vote. If you want to say in something, cast your vote. 8 votes in the whole of the thing, right? There's just 8 votes in it between this one and this one. So obviously these are the popular ones. I've been told that in New Zealand, MAN is quite a popular truck category. You do see the engine in front breed of trucks in New Zealand, and you also see the cab over varieties in New Zealand. I've been told by a few people that it seems to be about half and half. Some areas seem to have more of these, some areas seem to have more of these, but you do get both of them. And MAN is quite a popular truck in New Zealand, so there's quite a few of them around. But yeah, I was quite astonished by this, the fact it was so close. Because to start with, it looked like the standard in-game one was definitely going to win. But then the final day, this only had 71 votes, whereas this one picked up 580 votes. So yeah, 8 votes in it. And for those of you who were thinking, oh yeah, I hope it goes for that one, but didn't actually vote, your vote could have actually swung it the other way, right? With just 8 votes, that's not a lot. That's really not a lot in it. So anyway, we are going to be getting the MAN modded one. So we've got attachers, standard and back attacher. We'll almost certainly get that one with a back attacher. Engine setup, we can go up to 480 horsepower on that one. And this one over here is 480 horsepower as standard. What options does this one got? It's just colors and attachers, right? This one over here, attacher, obviously, and then we got the engine setup. So that one there. Wheel setup, we've got standard, Strabe, standard or Strabe. I'm guessing that's wide tyres or like agri tyres or something like that. Main colour and rim colour. Obviously, we're going to go for the standard New Holland colours, which we're going to do for everything. So we'll want the rim colour to be white, and we will want the main colour to be the second shade of blue there. So that's what we will be picking when we do that. Let's go back there. Then design, you've got Kufanger or standard. I've no idea what Kufanger means. Yeah, no idea. But anyway, we're not buying that today. That's going to be another day. My question that I'm going to ask you this week, here in the placeables, we have got, let me just find it, there it is, the hayloft. We've not used this at all in any of our series, this hayloft. And I got a feeling I may have asked about it a little while ago, but if I have, I completely forgot about it, and I'm very sorry. But I don't think I did. I think in the end I decided not to ask about it. I think this map would be perfect for it, because we're going to need hay for here and for the cattle. So if we could set up a hayloft somewhere, that could be very, very cool. I don't know, though. Oh, yes, you can. You can put hay and straw. Can you put bales into this, or is it only loose? I'm not sure. I will try to find out for tomorrow if it's bales or if it's just loose. But anyway, do you want me to get this one or should I leave it? It's your vote. It's your game. Head in the comment section down below. Let us know which one you want and why. And of course, don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right-hand corner. And as this week has emphasized quite beautifully, I feel, your vote really does count. Okay? Right, I'm going to have to go a minute, so I will finish up this field and then we can come back with a rake and start rowing it all up. And there is the very last of it. So if I very carefully come around here, we want to take this right to the end of the field so that we're not driving on anything when we stop. And there we go, let's stop right there. Now we can turn it off, lift it up into the air, and then fold it all up. So you fold that one up. While that one's folding, we'll come over here and we'll open the gate. Now what we're going to be doing next is we're going to be rowing up, and then we're going to be doing the baling. We're going to be doing small bales, and we're going to be using various trailers and that in and out. So in order to make this a lot easier, if this was my farm, and obviously most of the farms that I've ever worked on, I've worked on quite a lot of different farms, we would put up an electric fence. We'd put an electric fence sort of from over here somewhere, over to here maybe. I know that they got their water there, so we'd have to make sure that they could get to their water. So maybe if we put it from here, we would come out up to here somewhere and then back down, so that we've got enough room to turn around through the gateway here, but we can also keep the sheep away. So that's what we're doing. We're putting up an electric fence, and then we can leave the gate open, because we're going to be driving in and out so much, especially with the trail loads of bales. We really do need to make sure that we can keep the access open. And ooh, I very nearly completely obliterated our new hay turner there. It's not the way to behave. So yeah, we've got the electric fence up, and I am going to have to sort of turn around like this. Would be the best way to do it, I think. And because we've got the electric fence in place, it means that we can go in and out really easily without having to worry about keeping the sheep out of the field. It's an absolutely perfect setup. So let me just back this one in here and get the hay turner on. Obviously, once we've finished doing the baling, the next thing is, at least with the field, you need to around the edges of the field, you've got all these bits of grass and stuff, and you'll have little tiny bits of hay or grass left lying around in the field. So the perfect thing for cleaning all of that up is animals, like cattle or sheep. You know, it just so happens that we have some sheep, so we could make good use of them. What we'll do is, once we finish doing the hay in that field over there, we will leave this gate here open, the gate between the two fields open, and the gate over there open as well, and then the sheep will be able to go around in between each of the fields, and they will clean up all of those little bits that are lying around. It's what sheep do. They do it very, very well. And yes, you won't actually see the animated sheep walking down into the field in this game, but we can just sort of make believe with that little bit, because that is what they would do in real life, and you would let them through. I would personally, if you've got a choice between cattle and sheep, we would always let the cattle in, because they'll do it a lot faster than the sheep will. All these like little corners that you can't get to, they'll come racing in there and they'll grab all the choice tidbits out of that, and they'll carry on. And I need to unfold it, not start it up while it's folded. Be a good idea. We don't want to completely obliterate the thing. And also, one thing I don't particularly like with these rakes is most of the ones that I ever used, you used to have to take off the arms. You see these arms here? You would take off a few of them, like on the outsides, and you bring them round and you stack them on the back. And then the this guard here, that would also fold down when you folded it up, is so that it wouldn't stick up quite so high, because this one, when it's folded up, sticks up above the cab of the tractor. You don't really want that, especially in my country where you've got so much overhanging trees and stuff. So you would take the arms off and you put them down, and generally it just makes the whole job a lot easier for moving around. We don't have that in this one, so we'll just have to leave it as it is. Let's go around and start raking up. And yeah, like I was saying about the haymaking, you'd have a farmer go around the outside of the field and bale up 2 rounds around the outside with round bales or square bales, whatever, turn it into silage bales, remove those, and then go back the next week, mow the middle of the field, and you don't have to worry about the hay being flung into the hedge, and also you don't then have to worry about the hedgerows with all the trees overhanging, because it's all in the shade. It's the outside round that you always struggle trying to get to turn into hay. So if you remove the outside round, you don't have to worry about that. It just makes the job so much easier. And a couple of places I've worked at is the standard practice: bale the 2 outside rounds a week before you want to start doing haymaking, and then you don't have anything to worry about. It's just so much easier to do it that way. Right. Excuse me. we'll just do the outside round, and then I will carry on and do a little bit more. We're going to finish doing the raking today, so that tomorrow we can do our baling. We'll bale up just this field with the small bales, and we'll use the short auto-load trailer from TSM Modding, and stack those. Some of them will go in the shed, some of them we'll actually feed to the sheep straight away. Actually, no, I don't know if we're going to be able to feed them to the sheep, because we gave them all the grass. So we'll just stack all of this up in the shed up there, one of the sheds, I'm not sure where, so that the sheep have then got plenty of food. And we've got a load of small bales, and that'll be our small bales done on this map. We won't do any other small bales. I don't want to do small bales all the time, unless if we were to move to somewhere like the old Streams map, the really small map with lots of small fields and stuff like that, then we might seriously consider doing small bales all the time, because that is definitely a very small machinery map. And there's a couple others like it, and I'm really hoping that we will move to a map like that at some point. I'm not quite sure when. Right, we come through here. We want to do this a little bit steady, because we've got massive hay right in this great big lump here. So yes, that is the general plan, is to do that. At some point we will do a map that's all small fields and small stuff like that, so we won't be using something of this kind of size. It would all be very small tractors and small machinery. I think it'd be quite interesting to do. I know there was a lot of interest in the old Streams map. It's just this one just happened to take it just a little bit. It was actually pretty close, if I remember. Right, let me just stop and lift. I don't like to leave it spinning while we're turning on the headland here, because it does tend to catch the other rows and flick them around, and it's not really good practice. And I'm going to do 2 rounds around the field, and then I'm going to start doing land work, and then we do a final round around the outside, just kind of tidy everything up. Some of you will probably remember how I do that by now, as that's my standard way of doing it. So, depending on the width of the rake, we do sometimes do just once around and then do the land work, and then the final round around the outside. Sometimes we do twice, and then like the third one is the final one. So I think we need a little bit more room on the headland for this, so we'll do another time. Something else that I was going to talk about. Oh yes, the Welga baler, the small baler that we're going to be using. There is actually now the auto-load trailer that goes with it. It sort of makes the pack. We did use it back in FS15. That is now available to use for FS17, and it fits with that baler. So we might take a look at that one. I'm not quite sure yet. I think I'd prefer to use the UAL trailer, as that's the one that's on ModHub, so it's readily available to everybody, whereas the other one is not on ModHub. You've got to go and download it from an external site, and there are a few people who watch that don't like doing that because they don't really know very much about how to go about doing it, whereas the ModHub is very easy. It sort of does it all automatically. So we might just this time use the small auto-load trailer, and then another time we will do something a bit different. And right, I just need to come up here, and that is twice. That is one big windrow there. I think we are going to struggle to get through that. I really do. We'll have to see when we get the baler. I've got a feeling it's going to try to launch the baler. Let me just stop that and lift it. Now then, I think we should be... Which way should we go? Let's just go up to this end and start doing land work. I'll do a few passes up and down the field, and then I will get back to you, and hopefully we'll get most of this field finished before we go today. I just had a thought. We're going to try and set up the GPS mod here to do this field. I think it could be quite entertaining to do this. So let's set that. The auto width goes to about there. We want to move it over a bit. These two here, they turn the angle of it, so you can set it to any angle you like to make it work a little bit better. Let's just see behind us and see where that's going. That's actually going to be okay, like that. And if I bring it back up, so we've got that there. I want to just, yeah, I'll nudge it over a little bit just to make sure that we got everything. And right, I won't actually do the rest of it, like set it stopping at the end of the fields or anything. And I'm going to keep the lines available. Just go like that. We'll keep watching the lines, and then just press 3. It should now go on up the field by itself. That's fantastic. And that will also keep everything dead straight. Oh, I know what we can do. It's 9.3. It's set on 9.3. We've got to remember that. Because it's set on 9.3, if we do the same when it comes to the welder baler, just on the few bits in the middle, we can hopefully have the GPS helping us. Although it's going to be really difficult to set up the welder baler because of the offset on it. It's going to be quite a challenge. But I think it could be fun, because then we're going to be able to sort of travel along so that you can see in front of the machine as it's going along. You know, you can look right in at it like this. Fantastic view as he's running down across the field, which is absolutely brilliant. This is the reason that I like to use the GPS mod, is so that I can get a good angle on the tractors and see what they're doing. It's absolutely brilliant, because by doing this you get to look at the tractors in ways that you don't when you're trying to drive it yourself, because you can't sort of twist the camera around and keep driving at the same time. So let's just stop there, lift and turn. I have almost run out of time, and I apologise for having to keep stopping and for being all croaky and horrible today. I'm hoping that soon my throat will get a little bit better. I don't mind having a cold. I can put up with a cold, but obviously having a very sore throat, anything approaching laryngitis or anything like that, for a YouTuber, is not necessarily the best thing to happen. And it's got to the point where I was actually seriously considering what should I do if my voice, if it gets much worse. I'm going to have to try to think of something else. I don't want to just not produce a video. That just doesn't feel right. I wouldn't want to do that. So what I might end up having to do is, if I do actually lose my voice and I'm not able to talk for a few days, I might end up having to just sort of do say an hour of gameplay or something on here and time-lapse it down to 20 minutes. So it's only going to be like 3 times speed with a bit of music, and I'll put a few subtitles through it. I can't do much more than about an hour of gameplay and do it, because otherwise I'm going to run out of time and I'm not going to be able to do my regular time-lapse episodes, and so on and so forth. So it's kind of like a major compromise, and it's not something that I want to do. I would far rather just keep my voice and be able to do the talkies as per usual, and then we can concentrate on producing decent talkies and hopefully decent time lapses. But we'll have to see. Hopefully it'll be okay. This is the only recording I'm doing today, and this is being recorded about 6 hours before you get to watch it, and I will do the same again tomorrow for Friday. And it's the only talking that I will be doing for these couple of days, and I'll do the same again on Saturday, so that hopefully I can rest my voice for the rest of the time and I'm not going to run into any issues, so that all of you good folks at home get to watch proper episodes with me talking about random stuff as I usually do. So anyway, my question for this week is the hayloft. Let me just stop a minute. I don't want to go traipsing off down across the field and into the hedge while we do this. The hayloft right here, that mod there. Do you want me to use it? 250,000 litres of storage in that one. Do you want me to get that one and put it somewhere on this map so that we can take hay out of there for the cattle and for the sheep? Or would you prefer that I didn't and I just use bales in a regular fashion? If we do get it, we'll probably end up doing bales and the hayloft. I'm not quite sure yet, because we're going to be wanting straw, we're going to want hay, we'll probably do some silage bales as well. So we will still be using bales if we do get it. So don't worry about that. But yeah, it's your vote, it's your game. Head in the comment section down below, let us know what you want and why. And of course, don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right-hand corner. And like I said earlier, our vote from last week has proved, beyond all reasonable doubt, that your vote really does count. Yeah, your vote makes a difference. We had 8 votes in it, and we had almost 1,200 votes, and it was just 8 votes difference in the last vote, which I was pretty gobsmacked at that. I got to be honest, I was amazed at just how close it was. That was absolutely astonishing as far as I'm concerned. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It's absolutely highlighted the importance of voting. For those of you from the UK, you're probably aware by now that we are actually going to be having a general election. We've had a surprise announcement in our country of a general election that is going to be happening very, very soon. Let me just turn off the GPS now. And so our Prime Minister has announced that there's going to be a general election, and we have to vote in just 2 months' time on who we want to be our new Prime Minister. As always, keep political stuff out of the comment section. This is not a political debate platform. I'm not going to be mentioning in any way who I intend to vote for. All I would say is that anyone that lives in the UK, please go and vote. Yeah? Doesn't matter who you're voting for, and I don't want to know who people are voting for. This is nothing to do with politics on here whatsoever, and we will keep politics out of this. It only leads to anger and frustration a lot of times if you try to hold a political discussion somewhere that it's not meant to be. But all I would say is, we have proved today just how important voting is. So anybody in the UK, as we have got our vote coming up in just a couple of months' time, make sure you go and vote. If you're of legal age to vote, make sure you go and do it. And if you're not legal age to vote yet, if you're not 18 yet, get your parents to go and vote. Pester them. If they're not normally voters, get them to go and vote. Take a look at who's voted, get a look at who's standing, who your candidates are, and go and cast a vote. It's very, very important. It decides your future. And I've always been an advocate of this. I always think that people should vote for things, and yeah. Anyway, enough about that, because like I've said before, this is not a political channel, and I don't intend for it to be a political channel, so we can stop about that. But it's just something that I do feel strongly about. I think that everybody should have a say, because if everybody has a say, then yeah, we can't really complain about the result. It's I just think it's very, very important for you. It's the one chance you have to decide how the future might progress. So yeah, keep who you're voting for to yourself. Go and discuss it on political forums, political Facebook pages, that sort of thing. Anywhere that it sort of encourages that kind of debate. And by all means, look at what all the different people have to offer for how they're going to run the country afterwards. But for goodness sake, don't just stay at home. Go on when the polling stations are opened. Go and vote. It's really, really important. It's the absolute one thing that we have in any democratic country that will allow you to decide what happens in the future. So use that. It really can make a difference, right? It's absolutely important, and it really does make a difference. And yes, I said that's enough, and I kept talking about it. This is the sort of thing I do. I get into trouble. Right, so we have done all of our turning. The electric fence is still in place, so we're just fine there. We need to go and get the baler. And I'm thinking this tractor is actually overkill for the baler. So what we might do is we'll go up to the dealership, and we will get the UAL trailer tomorrow. And we will put the UAL trailer on this tractor, and we will get the baler, and we'll put the baler on one of the small tractors. It'll either go onto the Linda, or it'll go onto the New Holland that we've got. One or the other. I'm not quite sure which yet, but yeah, we'll decide. And then we can do our baling. But this tractor here, this is a bit too big to pull the baler. I have sort of seen in the past that huge oversized tractor on the small conventional balers can actually damage them because the tractor can't go slow enough for the baler. Is one of the issues that we found. Although now with variable boxes and everything on them, I think you could probably be all right with creeping along as slow as you need to. But it can lead to problems, and also because the tractor's so wide, the pickup of the baler doesn't sort of reach out far enough, and so you can run into a few issues with that as well. But anyway, that's all to come tomorrow. I'm hoping we'll get it all wrapped up tomorrow, and that'll be done, and then we can get on with our next task. If you've enjoyed this episode, then please head down below and give us a like, and if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.